This story is based on a film, but the idea behind it taps into something very real. Sometimes the scariest traps aren't the ones that lock you in. They're the ones that make you believe you chose to stay. It started with a rope, hanging out of a window, not tied for decoration, not for safety, but for escape. High above the streets of Vienna, an elderly woman crawled across her apartment floor. She couldn't stand anymore. Her legs had long since failed her. But whatever was inside that apartment had finally pushed her too far. So she tied a rope to a table, dragged it to the window, and threw it outside. Then, using what little strength she had left, she climbed out. For a moment, she just hung there, suspended between freedom and whatever was waiting behind her. Then she let go. But she didn't fall. The rope snapped tight, wrapped around her leg, and slowly, gently, began pulling her back up. Back into the apartment. The windows slammed shut, and she was never seen again. A few months later, a 25-year-old woman named Anna arrived in Vienna. New city, fresh start, no one left to rely on. So when she found a beautiful apartment in the center of the city for an unbelievably low price, she didn't ask too many questions. Maybe she should have. The landlord, a quiet man named Muller, barely spoke. And the current tenant, another old woman, seemed anxious. Desperate, even. When Anna asked why she was leaving, the woman smiled awkwardly and said, "I want to travel the world." At her age, it didn't make much sense. But Anna ignored the feeling in her gut. She signed a contract. And the moment she did, the old woman left faster than anyone her age should have been able to move. At first, everything seemed normal. Anna cleaned the apartment, painted the walls, threw out the trash. But when she came back inside, everything was exactly the way it had been before. Dirty, rotten, like time itself had reversed. She cleaned again. Same result. Again. Same result. And slowly, something started happening to her. Her reflection changed. Wrinkles appeared. Her eyes sank. Her skin aged overnight. Panicking, Anna stormed to Muller and demanded answers. But instead of apologizing, he showed her the contract. Buried in tiny, almost invisible text was a clause. You may not leave the apartment until a new tenant arrives. Anna laughed it off. Walked out anyway. That was her second mistake, because the moment she stepped outside, time caught up with her. At the hospital, doctors looked at her like nothing was wrong, because to them, she was old. Her ID? Blank. Her identity? Gone. And by the next morning, Anna had become an 80-year-old woman. When she returned to the apartment, Muller finally told her the truth. The apartment couldn't be empty. It needed someone inside. Always. And if a tenant left, they didn't just break the rules. They aged. Rapidly. Until there was nothing left. Anna tried to destroy the place. She poured alcohol everywhere. Lit a match. But the fire refused to burn. Instead, the apartment fought back. Choking her. Crushing her. Like a living thing. Because that's exactly what it was. Days passed. Anna grew weaker. Older. More fragile. Until she could barely walk. And then something even worse happened. The apartment started helping her. It made her food. Prepared tea. Kept her alive. Not out of kindness, but because it needed her. Eventually, Muller told her the only way out. Find someone else. Replace yourself. Pass it on. And one day, the perfect opportunity arrived. Her ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend. Young, healthy, completely unaware. They loved the apartment. They were ready to sign. Anna could have escaped. All she had to do was nothing. But at the last second, she stopped them. Spilled hot tea on his hand. Screamed for them to leave. And just like that, she chose to stay. She told Muller to lock the door and never come back. If no one entered, maybe the apartment would finally die. Alone and nearing the end, Anna sat by the window one last time, feeling the breeze. For the first time, she wasn't afraid. She just whispered, "Be gentle." That night, the apartment took her. Her body sank into the couch. Her skin turned into fabric. Her bones into structure. Her heart into thread. And by morning, she was gone. But the apartment was new again. And now, there's just one question left. If no one enters that apartment again, will it finally die? Or is it still waiting for someone like Anna to walk through the door? Thanks for watching. Stay curious. I'll see you next time. Peace.